Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is 1 o'clock or just short of 1 o'clock. We have a lot to unpack in today's video, so try to tune in, drink a little cafecito, take an Adderall, plug in. I'm going to try to make this as precise as possible. All right, first and foremost, let's talk about what we got as a backdrop, as we always do. Backdrop, no resolution, Iran and Trump, ongoing, total shit show. The posturing continues. That is driving oil prices up. As you can see, oil is up a point and a quarter, right around there. We have continued discussions in regards to Fed rates. I've heard so many different economists the last week. We have the 10-year Treasury is down again, which is a good thing. So we have all these things as the backdrop to the market. We had a spaceship blow up last week for Blue Origin, which took down the entire sector of Rocket Labs, Planet Labs, ASTS. We talked about that last week. We have some excitement. I guess some of the excitement for me is seeing Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett take a position in Taylor Morrison Homes. I'm going to touch on that. Berkshire Hathaway also investing with Google in CapEx expenditures, which is quite interesting. I'm going to touch on that. So we've got that as the backdrop. Overall, we can only trade what's in front of us. We're not going to predict 6-7 months down the line because that really doesn't matter to us. We're here to trade in momentum and in sectors. Sectors are heating up. There's rotation. As an example, yesterday you had a huge rotation in the software. Today you have the rotation out of software. Though all of this is good for the overall market, I'll say that the spaceship blowing up last week for Origin is actually good for the market because it tones down SpaceX's IPO valuation, which I prefer because their valuation is an absurdity of their estimates. And I think that's going to drag money into there. That's going to take it out of other things. So anyways, all right, backdrop. The market is again green today. I'll touch on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ making another high since Kevin Warsh has been sworn in, not last Friday, but the Friday after. I think every day has been green. This looks red on the chart, but I think that was still a green day. I could be wrong, but Kevin Warsh is going to go down in history as the first Fed chair to have like 8 or 9 consecutive green days after, which I think is unprecedented. Bitcoin is getting absolutely mauled, now falling below 67. My spot trade that was done was sold entirely. I had a stop and I was out at 75 or 76. So my spot trade is gone. However, this is going to start looking really favorable for people to purchase. It isn't there yet. I've been long on record to say that I think we're going to hit 45, 50,000. And I think that's still a real number. Block out the noise. If you're long-term and you're dollar cost averaging every week, like most people, I mean, it's temporary. I dollar cost average every single week I buy Bitcoin. I'm not all that worried about it. My spot trade made me a couple shekels, nothing to go right home about. Gold is up today, basically nothing. But this pattern, by the way, is fantastic. If I drew trend lines here and here, you're going to see this is a wedge, and this is all converging. Every single moving average is converging, and they're off 2-3% of each other, not even. I think this is going to either make a huge move to the upside or to the downside. My money is on the upside since I have money on gold. Okay. Natural gas, screw natural gas. We're going to oil. Sorry about that. Oil up yesterday and today. That's really just mainly the talks of Trump and the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like a ping pong match, whatever. It's going to get worked out. I'm still short oil, and I added more to my short today. So I'm still short oil. All right. I think we touched on the indexes, backdrop. Let's get into the meat and the potatoes of the situation. All right, so let's talk about what we did good last week and what we didn't do good. I like to always start off on the positive foot, and I want to first call out like a big winner that I had. I always like to start positive for people that are in these trades. Pinguino, the old Pinguino, Penguin up 18% today. This has been a just absolutely fantastic trade. I called this one out. I think it was like $50 something, like 51 or $52. Well, Nice move. I will admittedly probably trim a little bit today. Pigs get slaughtered. You hear me talk about it. It's still going up higher, though, to be completely honest. And I mentioned in last week's video it was still a buy. I don't think it's a buy here, but I think it's still going higher. I'm not going to advocate for that. This is not financial advice, but rather for educational purposes. So Pinguino worked out. For those of you that bought it when I bought it, maybe take a little piece off the table. And yeah, so Penguin working out pretty good. And that Penguin is correlated to SanDisk. No, it's not correlated. Penguin is in the same class as Western Digital, SanDisk, Micron, amongst others in memory. So that whole sector is doing good, but there's a rotation. People are taking their money out of like SanDisk and they're getting into these smaller names because they like cheaper names, easier to play options. And that's why this is going that way. I think this is on a beeline to $100. So I'm going to trim 10% of my shares today, but I'm going to let quite a bit of this ride. It's kind of like what I'd like to do. Okay. So Pinguino, that worked. Lumentum, let's do Lumentum Light. This is also working tremendously. And this is in the data center build out. Same thing as like Bloom Energy, Sienna. So let me explain it to you. You have these rotations and these themes. These themes are correlated to the growth of AI and CapEx expenditures. The reason that this and Sienna and Bloom is doing so good is because of Berkshire Hathaway and Google's report 2 days ago. And Google is diluting out shares to be able to spend more money in CapEx expenditures, and it's in conjunction with Berkshire Hathaway. So this is an actionable item right now. If you want the trigger point, it's right here. If you want for confirmation, I'm not selling anything on this move. This is a 13% move, which I've been talking about teeter-tottering. And I mentioned last week, I said, listen, it's right at that support level at the 50. And then it closed right there. And I said, it's got to bounce soon, because if it doesn't bounce soon, I'm going to trim this or take it out. Yesterday, we had the little gap down move in the morning and then came up. And then today, big on that news. A couple other good names there. And this is not names I own. Sienna, same thing. Bloom Energy, which is one that I completely got wrong. This is the one that got away from me. I owned this stock at like $80 and sold it at, I don't even know. This was terrible. Last year I messed this trade up. I didn't make money on this. I probably should have bought it and held it in my IRA. Anyways, there's always like a couple stocks that you just can't trade, and this was one for me, and I should have bought it in my IRA because I knew it was going to go higher, and I didn't do that. Anyways, long story short, Bloom Energy, did Sienna, did Lumentum. So that's that whole space. Anyways, so Lumentum, I think this is a rocket ship. I really believe on this. I'm pretty heavy on this name. I think it's going to break out to all-time highs. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, maybe by the end of the week. Yeah, so I think the expansion there with data center build-outs is working. And I want to point out, for you guys that are making tons of money, like I'm getting so many texts from people in like these names. You guys are up 30, 40%. Awesome. Like obviously trim. Send me a bottle of liquor to my office for dear God, because you're getting this advice from me for free. So look out for your boy. I'd like to have a bottle of liquor. And then try to move money around and safeguard certain assets. So like when you're up 40, 50%, maybe take a piece out, safeguard it, and try to work that way. So just for some of you, and you guys know who you are. Okay, so I'm going to keep going through these names because it is quite a bit to go through. Tesla, I'm down about 3% on this trade. I added to that yesterday and reset my stop loss. I still think this chart looks really great. I still think this is actionable. The reason I added to it was because it bounced off the 200 yesterday. And anytime a stock bounces off, so what I did is I added the position's a decent size, and then I reset my stop. So now I have an 8% stop from my average of yesterday. A lot of hand movement. Sorry about that. Okay, so Tesla. Intel has really not been cooperating with me. I have to be completely honest. I know some people think the world is falling on Intel. I personally don't. I will say, though, that this is in no man's land. I'm not selling my shares. I did remove my stop loss yesterday, and the reason I did that is because I changed my perspective on it. So Intel obviously owned chunk by the United States government, Trump. I think this is no man's land, and normally I would say you have to cut this. I'm just going to use fundamentals. Fundamentals here look fantastic, so I'm going to, in a rare case, I'm going to ignore the technical, which I never truly do. If I had to set a stop, it would be here, so that's like $5 away. So for those of you that do own it, when I bought it, you're down 3-4%, maybe 4%. I don't even know if you're down that much. Your stop would be below that wick. You're in no man's land. You see the next moving average. So anyways, Intel, I think Intel's going to do great. The semiconductor space with AMD, and it just, there's insatiable demand for AMD, Intel, and all these companies. I just think they're going to keep doing well, and I removed my stop on that. All right, we touched on that. Dell is finally having a down day, and for those of you that want to reload, you can reload on this move. I'm not advocating. I think this is going to get bought up. I have mentioned, I think, we got to like 466. I think this is a beeline to 500. It's a psychological number. So I did sell on Friday. I didn't sell yesterday. I wasn't smart enough. I should have sold some here. I sold 10% here. I sold my calls after earnings. Did great, whatever. I think I'm going to add a little nugget back here today, depending on where this closes. So what I want to see, for those of you that are looking to add, it still is at the low of the day right now. You want to see it carve out a low of the day, and you want to see volume come in. So I'm going to wait because this volume is low. However, really good. The volume is low on a down day. Look how low this volume is on a day that's down. So this huge up move, huge volume, and then today, lower volume. So the selling is not being overcrowded. So this is an actionable pullback, not much of a pullback, 5%, if you want to buy that. All right, so now I'm going to go to Rocket Lab. I got this right and wrong. For the record, guys, for those of you kind of like, I had somebody who was like, oh, you messed up Rocket. You bought it on Friday and it dropped 12% yesterday. Okay, I was up 80% on the majority of the trade and I sold profits on the way up. For those of you that are like hoping for me to fail on a trade just to rub it in, I'm not perfect. I'm going to get tons of trades wrong. I'm just going to manage my risk, and I take chances based off of profits. When you have the benefit of 80% profits and you see that Blue Origin, the spaceship blows up and the whole sector gets blown up, it's an overreaction. This is going back higher. Just so is Planet Labs, ASTS. They're going higher. Like, for those of you that are like wishing for my trades to fail, yeah, good luck with that. So anyways, basically even today, I did buy shares Friday. Those went underwater. I bought shares yesterday, and I'm still not back at 100% where I was here. I'm about 70%. So here is my line in the sand, admittedly. Sorry, it's here for those shares from Friday and from those shares yesterday. If it drops below this wick, yeah, I'm probably going to cut the position and move on with 50-60% profits. Oh no, 50-60% profits. So since we're talking about that sector, let's go ASTS. I laid out a trade. I didn't take it Friday. I said to possibly buy calls. I text some people and I said, yesterday I was going to buy calls. I didn't. I should have. They would have made a ton of money. I know some of you did buy calls that I text yesterday. Congratulations. That was just a timing trade. I do expect ASTS to go back up. I still like this name. I'm not in it. If you bought calls, I would probably sell some of them. All right. Whew, really unpacking a lot of shit today. What else we got here? All right, we're short oil. Oh, SanDisk. I'm not in SanDisk. I've told you I haven't got back in it, but just pointing it out, it is kind of flat. Made an all-time high yesterday. It's on its way to 2,000. I think I'm on record. I said it would hit 1,500, hit 15. I think it's going to hit 2,000. So since we're on that sector, let's go Micron. So I mentioned this last week. Look, first of all, this is a very big gappy stock, and these are huge gaps in between. Gaps are not good for stocks. I don't love the gappiness because it means it trades loose. People were claiming this was an exhaustion top yesterday. I don't think so. I really added a lot to my position last week after selling a lot. I'm up on that. This trade is working out pretty good for me. I'm not going to go advocate for you to go buy it here, but I'm going to say, relatively speaking, this is still a very cheap stock. Penguin and Micron, Sandus, they're really cheap if you look at the fundamentals based off of forward earnings. Just pointing it out. I know people are saying this is crazy. It's not really that crazy if you look at precedent. This very well could be a $1,500 stock, and I think it's going to happen. So anyways, I'm long and strong Micron. All right, what else do we have here? We did Dell, Lumentum, Pinguino, Intel. Oh, sorry, got to go to AMD. What was I thinking? AMD is up today. I don't really know what to say about AMD. As the fact is, if what you have, just hold it. If I wouldn't be looking to buy, but I wouldn't be looking to sell here. So AMD, just pointing out the strength. Google down on that news today, which is interesting. Convertible, they yielded. Open. All right, so I want to point out Open. For those of you, I have one or two stocks every year that I just stick to when I think they're like value plays, and I think this is a value play. I don't have the trend line set up, but I will tell you that yesterday this broke above the downward trend line, which is a great sign. The real trigger point is here. Make no mistake, 601 breaking through there is on a beeline to $10. I think this is a $10 stock. I think it's going to hit $10 this year. I think also the fact that Berkshire Hathaway is buying into Taylor Morrison, which I want to touch on. So what that means is these home builder and real estate correlated stocks have been beat to shit over the last 6 to 12 months. That's why everybody thinks that this rising bull market it rises all stocks. It's still a stock picker's market. You still have to pick names. So Taylor Morrison, which is one, Taylor Morrison Home Corp. I mean, this has done nothing in this bull market. It's gone down. Well, Berkshire Hathaway announced, and look at it, gapped up. Look at the move here, guys. You can't even see it on the chart. It shot up from 58 to 71 yesterday. Because of they acquired them. So Berkshire acquired them at a 72 price valuation. You see it for $8.5 million in cash. That means Warren Buffett thinks the home builders are going to recover. So because the home builders are going to recover, you're going to get Pulte, which is, going to probably recover. You're going to get Lennar, DR Horton. These are names that you should, if you're looking for value here, okay, and damn it. Sorry, guys. TRI? Maybe I'm wrong there. DRO. Anyways, Pulte Group is one of them. The whole sector is going to end up recovering. I would probably bet money on it. I'm going to find one that I like. Last year I played DR Horton. I played a couple different names. Lennar is like the cheap one. I don't really like Lennar. They build cheap, shitty homes. DR Horton is probably the one that you're going to find. Pulte is a good one too. So I would find a name that you like, and I think you're well off stashing one as an investment. Just pointing it out to you. You pick your tolerance on what you feel is good for yourself. I think picking a good home builder like Pulte, DR Horton is going to do really well over the next 6 months. And that's why I am in the camp to say that I think Open is going to be a benefactor of multiple things, of rate cuts and Berkshire Hathaway's acquisition of Taylor Morrison. That's it. I'm done with that rant. Okay. So you kind of got what we went over. I want to kind of point out what is coming up and some names that are actionable. I wanted to put a couple names, but I didn't make a video yesterday, so I'm going to go into Broadcom. Broadcom has earnings tomorrow, and it is just raging today and yesterday. So earnings tomorrow. I don't own this stock. A lot of people have asked me to do earnings on it. I'm not going to play it. And if I play it, I'm probably going to play it to the downside. I'm going to take a put, and it's going to be the same thing with CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike also reports, I think they report tomorrow. Look at this. I mean, this is insane based on what they're trading. I'm not saying you should short stocks in a market like this, but I must say, though, that tomorrow I'm going to either pick, this is going to be my pick, actually. I'm going to pick CrowdStrike. I'm going to pick a put price, and I'm going to take some puts. Something I'm willing to lose, maybe like a 730 strike, a couple weeks out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. This is absurd. This is, look, not saying it's not a great company, but this is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. And there's no way they're going to be able to guide forward to sustain this valuation. Do what you want, pick your risk tolerance. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to probably take puts. It means I'm going to go short CrowdStrike going into earnings tomorrow. Broadcom, I'm kind of indifferent. That could go either way. I'm not so convinced. CrowdStrike, I think it's going down. Downtown Susie Brown. All right. Here's a play for you. I don't normally trade ETFs, but all right, IGV is the ETF for software. This is down today. This is a buy dip, not financial advice, rather for educational purposes. I'm going to buy calls on this. I think this is going to be fine. This has run up the last 3 days. People are moving into software. It's just taking a cool off day. Buy shares, buy calls. I'm going to look at it. I want to see the valuations. I'm either going to buy calls at maybe like a 110 strike, or I'm going to buy shares. And that's really it. I own concentration in the names that are working. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of movement. Like today, software is getting crushed. Yesterday, software was all the rage. I mean, there's a lot of movement in the market. This is a little stock I kept talking about. This looks really constructive, just pointing it out. Anyways, all right, long video, sorry. Anything else here? Anything else? Yeah, this damn Lumentum has just been a hell of a call. And the Pinguino, I can't stress it enough. The Pinguino, just what a move. I think is 20% now. And I just want to point out, like, so everybody knows, because I know this video is rambling on and on and on. Sorry, guys. I had my buddy calling me. A buddy of mine that actually watches the video, so he'll see that. 20% up. Like, this steel is cheap, though. Like, I just want to make it clear the valuation's still cheap. Doesn't mean you don't sell a little piece, but anyways, all right, I'm out. Have a great week. I'll see you at the end of the week.